Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Pipe Bomb Sessions. This weekend, we got Night of Champions coming up. And man, let me tell you, I don't know if it's just me, but I really do feel like John Cena's heel run has taken a turn. For the better, though. I think between him and CM Punk feuding now, of course, it's Punk of all people who elevates Cena Cena's heel run. Let me say it like that. Not Cena, but his heel run elevated it to a level that we've been waiting for. It brought out Cena's best. I mean, you saw what happened on SmackDown, right? Like it was Cena and Ron, and then obviously Cena was gonna leave the match, and that's where Punk comes out afterwards. They fight a little bit. Cena puts him through a table. And then he drops a pipe bomb of his own. Very similar to the pipe bomb that was dropped on Cena while he was laying there through the table all those years ago. I thought that was very interesting and really, really good. That promo last Friday on SmackDown was legit, in my opinion. Like, what? I don't. I'm going to touch base on who my predictions for each match are going to be a little bit later. But that is something I'm looking forward to. Let's see who comes out on top. A lot can happen if a certain someone wins, in my opinion. But as I said, let's see. Now, before we do get into Night of Champions itself and what's been kind of happening, right? Let me just put out there on SmackDown this week, when they are in Saudi. Well, at least for now, we know they're going to Saudi still. We're running through the Tiffany versus Nia Jax again at this point. I mean, I don't think Nia's being Tiffy once. I don't understand how she keeps getting opportunity after opportunity. This time around, though, it's going to be a last woman standing match. In my opinion, that's basically them saying, all right, this is it. After this, we're going to move forward, which at least I hope. Like, we got to move forward. Or the last woman standing match is happening so that Naomi can cash in. I can see that happening. Maybe Naomi doesn't even cash in on Tiffy. Maybe, you never know, Nia does actually end up winning. Now, because of Nia's win, she gets cashed in again. Just like when Tiffy cashed in on her, Naomi cashes in on her again. Nia could be known as the champion who gets cashed in on. I mean, hey, I'm just saying, it's like a weird little thing they got going on over there. But it is something. It is definitely something. I also want to touch base on the fact that Charlotte and Chelsea Green happened last Friday. You know, nothing crazy, obviously. It's just a regular match between Charlotte and Chelsea Green. Charlotte gets attacked by Chelsea's group afterwards, and Alexa Bliss comes out. We've been seeing Alexa Bliss trying to, in a sense, befriend her old rival friend, and she's just letting Charlotte know, like, hey man, we're the vets, and these young girls, we gotta teach them, we gotta show them how it is. Like, we still got it, type of deal. Like, we still run the place. But Charlotte's really not on board, it seems like, last couple weeks. Even this week, when Alexa came out to help her out, Alexa gave the gesture of a shaking hand, and Charlotte basically brushed it off and left the ring. Alexa obviously laughed it off, but in my opinion, this is also just a tease to see, like, hey, how are we moving forward? What's going to happen next? And things like that, I think that's very interesting. A match that got confirmed, I believe, for Night of Champions was the U.S. title match between Jacob Fatu and Solo. Let me tell you, man, Solo, his in-ring mic skills have been on point since, honestly, him going for the tribal chief mantle. I thought at first, like, he was a little boring, like he was whatever, but honestly speaking, it's like he's kind of growing on me. He knows what he's doing. He's like this, this silly character at times, and he's serious. Then he's playing these manipulative like mind games. So it's very interesting how he can kind of twist and turn, if you want to say, and go into these different personas, if you know what I'm saying, and pretty much just kind of go with that. I don't, I don't hate it. Honestly, I think it's pretty good. I don't know what I don't know what's gonna happen in Night of Champions if he's actually gonna be able to pull it off, but I don't think that's where this ends for sure. I think it's going to get extended a little bit further as well. That's very highly possible and probably going to happen, in my opinion. Like, I do not see that not happening. Something that I thought was kind of like, locked in for Night of Champions was Seth Rollins versus LA Knight. But it seems like they're saving that matchup for possibly SummerSlam, is what I'm going to say. Maybe that's Saturday night's main event. That's coming right before SummerSlam. But I definitely think it's going to be SummerSlam where they have that matchup. Big hype matchup, hype crowd. You kind of get both your stars on the show type of deal. So, I don't know. And the only reason I say that it's going to get delayed is because now they're saying that LA Knight is hurt after taking multiple tsunamis and a couple spears from Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed on SmackDown. So he's out for a little bit of time. Unknown on how long, and obviously he's not legitimately hurt. Prayers up still to Liv Morgan. Sucks still that she got hurt last week on Raw. And it's like, damn. And speaking of Raw and Liv Morgan, her man's, and I think this is definitely storyline, of course, because he's been fine. He's also hurt, as he said, and thus his matchup between AJ Styles for his IC title is now canceled at Saudi. I'm sure that one of them, maybe neither of them, honestly, wanted to go to Saudi. It seemed like, because, for those of you who don't know somehow, there's a lot of stuff going on in the Middle East at the moment. So, I believe it's been, kind of taken care of already, but it's probably like Styles and Dom were one of them. Both of them were like, yeah, nah, we ain't going, man. We're not trying to get stuck. We're not trying to deal with anything. We're good. So, they took the card off. They took the match off. Simple as that. And, since that match is not happening now, I assume it's going to happen either at Saturday night's main event, I can see happening. I don't know if I'm okay with them pushing it all the way to SummerSlam. I'm sure you can grab another opponent for Dom at SummerSlam. I'm not saying AJ Styles is not good or he's not going to put up a show, of course. But it's like, all right, you were going to have it now, and you're going to make us wait about a month and change. Just to have them face off again. I'd rather just have them face off in a couple weeks at Saturday night's main event, as I just mentioned. I don't think that's a bad plan whatsoever. Speaking of plans being made, we officially saw the return of Goldberg last week. I'm sure everybody was super excited, just like I am. He's facing Gunther for his world title at his hometown, in a sense, of Atlanta. And I don't know, guys. I really have a weird feeling Goldberg has a slight chance of walking out of that match with that title. I know this week on Raw, he was saying, he's going to beat the shit out of Gunther and fuck him up type of deal. Gunther basically responded saying he's going to do the same thing in front of Goldberg's family. When they face off, can release his boots. So Gunther doesn't obviously respect Goldberg, doesn't give a crap about him. He does not care. He's like, Goldberg is just some 50-year-old man who wants the spotlight one more time. And Goldberg is basically telling, yo, Gunther, you disrespected me in front of my wife, my kid. I'm gonna basically come over there and kill you. I'm like, okay. Interesting couple promos. We're going to be seeing a lot more Goldberg going into Saturday night's main event from what I heard. So, hey, I guess that feud will be red hot going into their matchup. As I said, I don't know why I keep getting this weird feeling I know it's no longer Vince's WWE, and I shouldn't think like that, but I mean, what if Goldberg wins and then Rollins wants to cash in on him? Easy way to kind of get the title off of Goldberg immediately. Have Gunther lose it to like a legend in a sense. And that's that. You don't need. Gunther could get a rematch for it, but technically Rollins never cashed in on him, so it wouldn't go that way. I don't know. I think the Rollins briefcase situation is actually a little odd. He's name dropped, obviously, both champions, and I'm not sure. He can cash in as soon as Night of Champions too. I mean, that's not really out of the realm, in my opinion. Like, I'm not sure if that's really like a left field play as I'm thinking. I don't know. The whole Goldberg situation, as I said, is interesting. Other than that, I mean, for the Money in the Bank briefcase and even the holder in Rollins, a guy's just cutting the same promo week after week at this rate. It's like, are we gonna get anything else, or is this it? I don't know. I just feel like we could have get more Rollins, maybe get him in the ring or something. I don't know. I always like a good Rollins match. I'm not against his promos or anything like that, but like I just feel as if we can get more out of it. I mean, his promo, hey, he did call out LA Knight, said he took care of business. Then he said that Penta will be taken care of by Braun Breaker since Penta wants to put his nose in Rollins' business. So I don't know if you guys watched the match, but Braun Breaker versus Penta. Holy shit. Like, this guy Penta got broken in half by Braun Breaker on that spear that he hit. Because that spear was insane, I thought. I thought that was a really good spear. It really did break Penta in half. Seemed like Rollins was telling Penta after the match, like, this was your warning, man. Like, you keep getting in my business. There's gonna be a lot worse things to come. This is your only and first warning. And so I assume that maybe Penta is getting involved in the Rollins story, but it seems like Gable and Penta are still going forward. Since they had a confrontation in the backstage area later in the night. And in my opinion, it's still probably leading up to the mask versus mask match. Penta versus El Grande Americano. We haven't seen him as often on TV, I feel like. And I don't know. Maybe WWE is just thinking it's time to unveil that it's Gable and just move forward with Gable from here on out. Let's see. Let's see how it goes. As I mentioned earlier, Styles and Dirty Dom are now off of the Night of Champions card. A couple matches that did get added was the Karrion Kross versus Sami Zayn. Finally, this man Kross is getting into the ring and out of these freaking 30-second to 1 minute, maybe 45 seconds sometimes backstage segments. Like, can we get him out of there? Obviously, he gets a huge pop every single time. So let's get him into the ring, please, and let's do something with him. Another match that got added was Raquel versus Rhea in a street fight, since Raquel decided to call Rhea out on the advice of Balor, funny enough, and seemed like she was getting put through a table as Rhea planned, but Roxanne came out to help Raquel, and Raquel was able to put Rhea through the table, and that basically Rhea asked for a street fight at Night of Champions, and Adam Pearce gave it to her. What I found interesting is that, Raquel's never been a big fan of Roxanne so far, but then they hugged, and, they were standing tall together in a sense. Raquel appreciated that. Basically, Roxanne came out of her way to help her out against Rhea. Hey, I think there it is. That's the movement that WWE is doing. They're going to, in a sense, possibly replicate the Rhea Dom, Liv Dom into the Liv Roxanne situation. But I don't know. I feel like it's so fresh still in our heads. I don't think that they should run back a similar and especially not a carbon copy storyline. I don't think that's a good idea whatsoever, at least in my opinion. But again, if they're gonna do it, it could work, especially considering that Liv Morgan's out for like 6 months or up to 6 months. That sucks, of course. I can see her definitely returning at the Rumble of all things. That would be a huge, huge return for her. If not at the Rumble, maybe she returns sooner. You never know. I would not be surprised. I mean, we just need her to return at a very, very bad moment for Dom. That's all, to kind of get this going. Just like how Rhea returned. See, that's my thing. Like, we kind of went through this already. So I was hoping they were gonna not just do this, but Liv being her really, I think, just screwed up so many plans from the Evolution pay per view all the way to SummerSlam in her home state. So it's like, I think a lot of things got messed up because of that. So there's that situation. I don't know what. So it seems like we're going for the triple threat match at SummerSlam, or maybe even the Evolution pay per view, actually, between Becky Lynch, the women's IC champ, and she retained, Lyra Valkyria, and Bayley. Bayley was fighting for the title, and then Lyra decided to get in the middle of it because she doesn't like Becky, obviously, and that cost Bayley the matchup. They had a little bit of a dispute in the ring while Becky looks on from the outside, knowing that she retained. Hey, she got the job done. And so now let's switch gears into Night of Champions. Night of Champions is actually one of the bigger cards of the year. Surprisingly enough, they have 6 matches on the card. Hey, I will take that any day. It's better than the 5 that we've been getting, or the 4 sometimes that I feel like I've been seeing that's turned into 5. Like, what's going on here? I'm cool with more matches, not a problem at all, in my opinion. I will say before I go into my predictions, pending that they are still going to Saudi, I think at this point they probably are. That's not a problem. Stay safe out there. Hopefully you guys don't get stuck. Again, stay safe and, be well type of deal. Like, isn't this odd shit going down over there, bro? Shoot. So let me start off with the match that was newly added. Karrion Kross and Sami Zayn. In my opinion, I think this is a match where Kross gets a dub on the board. We saw Kross and Styles face off before when Kross was kind of pissing him off, and he lost that matchup. That didn't really lead to any other deeper storyline, unfortunately, but he lost that matchup. I don't think they're going to send him with Sami to lose. I think the whole point of him winning against Sami would be to basically let Sami know, like, hey, look, you can't get the job done. Not even against me in a regular one-on-one matchup. So you need to do something else. This is all, he's trying to build Sami into this heel, into this bad guy. Leave, like, this whole good guy act, fan favorite act, going to the rescue type of deal. It doesn't do Sami Zayn any good. It's not actually leading him anywhere. So I think Kross wins. I think Kross wins, and maybe Zayn now is thinking about it. Maybe we see more teases of a heel turn. I'm not sure. Let's see how it kind of rolls together. The second matchup that was literally put on Monday Night Raw, and it got added right from Raw, was Raquel versus Rhea, as I mentioned, right? The street fight. Now, this is all written for Rhea to win, right? I mean, I think this is a slam dunk case. This is easy. And I mean, it's a matchup that they probably just wanted to throw together to get Rhea on the card. Good for Raquel. She's now on the card. She gets a fight. Possibly we see Roxanne coming out to help out, but I do think Rhea still takes the dub at the end of the day. So, hey, it is what it is. I'm cool with it. Next matchup I would like to talk about was obviously the Bloodline matchup for the WWE US Championship. Jacob Fatu versus Solo. Now, I don't think this is the only time they face, so because of that, I think Fatu retains. Now, I don't know if he's going to retain clean or if he's going to retain off of a DQ because maybe like a JC Mateo interferes if Solo's in trouble. Just so, Solo can then say he technically never got pinned. So he gets a rematch. He gets one more shot at it. I can see something like that taking place for sure. And maybe that being kind of the catalyst of moving forward. Like, hey, okay, this is how we get Solo and Jacob Fatu. But I'm just curious, like, would they just run another one-on-one regular matchup later on? Maybe they switch it up and it's a different type of matchup, possibly. I do think Fatu walks in as champion and he's gonna walk out as champion. That's just my opinion, though. I do think that's gonna happen. Now let me switch gears into both the King and the Queen of the Ring tournament finals that are taking place. We saw on Monday Night Raw that Jade officially advanced to the finals, and she will be facing the Empress of Tomorrow, Asuka. Now, I actually think this matchup was a 50-50 shot, and I'm going to go with the underdog, at least in my opinion, this matchup, because everybody keeps saying that Jade is going to win the title at SummerSlam, is going to go in to SummerSlam as the number one contender, the Queen of the Ring, and face off against, well, at that point, we don't know who the champion could be. Naomi could have cashed in at that point, and she's the champ. See, in that sense, that makes sense to me. Jade versus Tiffany, I don't know if that gives me the same hype as a Asuka versus Io Sky for SummerSlam. Like, that's a matchup that I would be looking forward to. A good matchup. I could definitely see Asuka taking the title off Io. And, like, I think Io just needs something to do right now. Ever since she's won the title, she hasn't done anything. She just, like, appeared in backstage segments. I'm not even sure if I've seen her actually appear in... Yeah, no, she's appeared in a couple of matches, but that was like, I feel like that was such a long time ago. I don't know. Like, in my opinion, I feel like Io Sky has not been represented well at all as the women's champion, which is messed up. I mean, hey, she was a surprise win. She's hyped and she's like over with the crowd. I don't know why you wouldn't do that. Like I said, my pick for the Queen of the Ring. Who's gonna be Queen of the Ring? That's gonna be Asuka. Now, King of the Ring finals. I'm sure everybody predicted it. It's Randy Orton, the Viper, versus the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. Oh, man. As much as I would love to say Randy Orton takes this, I think this is an easy one for Rhodes to take. This is going to do two things. Not only set up the possible rematch against John Cena at SummerSlam, but it also will make Orton look at him differently now. This is where we see maybe Orton go after Cody after a little bit, maybe go at his neck, things like this. I'm not sure. I can see it happening. I'm definitely not against it. See it happening. I don't know. It's very interesting to me. I do like that Orton and Cody Rhodes. I think it's gonna be a good matchup, low key. It's gonna be pretty well done. I do see Cody coming up on top though. Now for the final match that I would like to discuss for Night of Champions is for the undisputed WWE Championship. The challenger CM Punk versus the champ John Cena. Now I will be honest. If this was at SummerSlam, I would have probably been on CM Punk train all the way. Because it's at Night of Champions and SummerSlam is this champion is basically going to face Cody Rhodes or Orton, right? I mean, it only makes sense that John Cena and Cody Rhodes are gonna run it back. And I mean, is this where Cody wins the title back? I mean, we know Cena's not leaving with the title, but who's he losing it to and when is he gonna lose it is my question. And is he gonna be champ the whole time? I thought it was gonna be Punk maybe he loses it to. I could definitely see Cody being the guy as he loses to. I'm just unsure. Like, what? I just don't know how it goes. Now, on the flip side, let's say CM Punk actually does beat Cena and become champ. I don't think he's still walking out of Saudi with the title. I think this is where Rollins cashes in to basically set up their matchup. I mean, it's a perfect way to get Rollins the title, get the Money in the Bank briefcase kind of cashed in, and who else on but CM Punk, his arch rival. The story is literally written there, but the question is, do we want to see this again now happen type of deal? I mean, they are 1-1. Technically, we are due for a third round between these two guys. Would not be surprised if it happened at SummerSlam. We need a big matchup, and maybe Punk wants the title that he held for a very short time back. You never know. You never freaking know, right? But like, that's the thing. I think Rollins has two opportunities to cash in his briefcase coming up this weekend at Night of Champions against. And the only reason he cashes is if Punk wins, in my opinion. He doesn't cash in on Cena. Or he cashes it on Goldberg if Goldberg actually does end up winning against Gunther at Saturday night's main event. That is more plausible if they end up actually doing this whole Goldberg shenanigans and actually pull the trigger on it. That is definitely more possible in my opinion. But you never know, man. Punk is big. Punk and Cena, that's a huge feud. I think it's... the thing is, if Punk were to lose it, Cody Rhodes technically is supposed to face Rollins then for that title. Punk would probably want to get back in, so it might turn into a triple threat. Maybe Cena wants to get in, turns it to a fatal four. And that's how they have Cena win it back. Maybe they don't have Cena win it back. I don't know. In my opinion, this is where things get interesting. Because, like I said before, Rollins not doing anything. And I need him to do something. Because it's Rollins. Like, I just don't know. And another thing, like, where the hell's the OTC? Is he gonna return or what? Like, SummerSlam's about like 5 weeks away, man. What are we doing here? Where the hell are you? Hopefully Roman returns soon and the OTC we can freaking acknowledge him again. But until that moment happens and until his music hits, let's look forward to Night of Champions for now. Saturday night's main event coming up in a couple weeks as well as the Evolution pay-per-view. And let's see how everything is set up for SummerSlam at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. Hey guys, I appreciate it as always tuning in this week. Thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe and like as always. And I'll talk to you guys later.